There are a few things I enjoy more than unwinding at the end of the day with a vintage bottle of champagne and turning on the TV to catch up on my shows, and I'm sure I'm not alone. People have used television as an escape for decades, and it appears that televisions are becoming more innovative, unbelievable, and expensive by the year. In fact, for the price of the world's most expensive television, you could acquire yourself a yacht, a modest house, and possibly even a fancy car, which is why we'll be discussing it today. Along the way, we'll look at some of the other world record-breaking televisions, from the largest to the thinnest to the coolest. The smallest television. Let's start with one of the most recent televisions on the market, which also happens to be the smallest. So, what if you could simply make your television disappear? That is exactly what the LG Signature OLED technology does. Back in 2016, LG unveiled a prototype of a rollable OLED panel, which many found astounding. It's difficult to believe that televisions can roll up like wrapping paper when just 70 years ago they were little wooden squares, and just 20 years ago, well, we won't get into that period of entertainment center aesthetics. LG took it a step further in 2018 at CES by debuting the 65-inch display. The ability of an OLED television is to roll up into a box. After 4 years of teasing the design and torturing aficionados with the weight, the LG Signature OLED R is now ready for sale. While the display boasts an 8K resolution and a refresh state of 120Hz, the TV's unique ability to roll away has remained the product's defining feature. It collapses into an aluminum base that also functions as an outward-facing speaker. I think it's a fantastic feature because I'm not a fan of my television blocking my view of the mountains from my living room. Television, on the other hand, has another alternative. Line view is what LG refers to. Line view allows the top portion of the screen to protrude from the bottom, gives you a somewhat smaller, less obtrusive screen that may be used as a clock, music center dashboard menu, or even mood lighting. Doesn't that sound lovely? Unfortunately, unless you live in South Korea, you will be unable to obtain this television. LG has not yet announced plans to launch the product in other markets, but I'm sure it will in time. But before that happens, you might want to start saving. The TV is currently available for $87,000, which is still far from cheap. It is the most expensive television on the market. But don't worry, we'll talk about the world's tiniest television very soon. First and foremost, we must discuss the size because regardless of what others say, it is important, especially when it comes to the device on which you watch shows and play games. Some televisions had at least a foot of hardware between the screen and the wall, but those days are long gone since small TVs have arrived. And the tiniest of them all is a mere 3.85 millimeters thick, which translates to about 0.15 inches. To watch television that thin, you need to be a little larger than the thickness of 2 quarters placed on top of each other. We'll have to wait until CES 2017, where I'll be, to see another of LG's innovations. LG introduced the world's thinnest functioning television. The wallpaper is a 2.5mm television. And while television was never meant to be a commercial product, LG did guarantee the public that an identical television would be available, and they have followed through on that commitment. They revealed the LG Signature OLED TV, which is an engineering marvel. The television boasts 8.3 million individually lighted pixels, resulting in brilliant colors, deep dark blacks, and fine details that are difficult to obtain elsewhere. While that is already remarkable, LG has opted to take the TV even farther into the future by including an AI ThinQ. AI ThinQ refers to the television's inclusion of Google Assistant, which aids in the transformation of your home into a smart home. The wall. Since we've discussed the wallpaper, I believe it's time to discuss the wall. This television does not necessarily fall into a superlative category, but I believe it is the coolest television on the market. Samsung's The Wall is a television unlike any other because it is the market's first modular television. It comes in discrete modules that, like Legos, snap together to generate the required display size and resolution. And there are numerous alternatives. Instead of the trendy OLED screens, the television can cover an astonishing 292 inches with 8K resolution. The Wall employs micro-LED technology, which provides a visual experience equivalent to OLED technology with dark blacks and bright colors. If the Wall doesn't catch your interest, perhaps the Window will. The Window is a 75-inch model with 4K resolution in its compact size. By putting extra LEDs in the display, the television, according to Samsung, may be adjusted to meet several aspect ratios. The world's largest television. If you want to enjoy a home movie theater experience and have at least $1.7 million to spare, look no further than the Titan Zeus, which happens to be the world's largest television for sale. Zeus, the giant, spans an astonishing 370 inches diagonally. To save you the trouble of doing the math, that means the television is 26 feet wide and 16 feet tall. Here is a comparison of the outrageously enormous screen with an elephant overlaid in front of it to help you understand how truly massive it is. Surprisingly, despite its size, the television can sustain a 4K resolution. This means that the images will be not only large, but also extremely clear. When they were announced in 2014, only a handful of these models were ever sold, and many of the versions that were sold were outfitted to be weather-resistant, which undoubtedly increased the price. After all, most people do not have a living room large enough to accommodate a 24 by 16 foot television. So it appears that outdoor entertainment is the way to go. The television also weighs about a ton, so you can't just call up a cousin to help you move it. Finally, we've arrived at the world's most costly television, and it's not for the faint of heart. Imagine you have an extra $2.25 million kicking around. You may even purchase yourself a great house and a premium car to go with it. Alternatively, you could buy a 55-inch television. Stuart Hughes designed the 55-inch television. A British designer is well known for his extravagant luxury goods, and this television is undoubtedly extravagant. The Prestige HD Ultimate Rose Edition has been given a name. Television takes the word prestige to a whole new level. But if you're not a fan of bling and glamour, I don't think this show is for you. The television has been gilded with 28 kilos or 61 pounds of solid 18-karat gold. While that amount of gold would be sufficient for most people, it did not quite lift the television to Stuart Hughes standards. So, on top of that gilded frame, they added 72 beautiful round-cut 1-carat immaculate diamonds, in addition to amethyst and sunstone, which are clearly genuine gemstones. Aside from precious metals and jewels, the television is made of an unusual but sumptuous material, the skin of an alligator. On the inner screen layer, the alligator skin was painstakingly sewn. And if $2.25 million is a little too much for you, you can even go for the Supreme Rose Edition, which costs only $1.5 million. That's all there is to it. The most costly, thinnest, coolest, largest, and smallest televisions on the market. Which of these televisions would you choose for your home? Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm Miss Luxurious signing off. For now, don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Luxzoid.